What if your dreams were never yours? What if every goal you chase is already generating profit, just not for you? Have you noticed why millions of people want the exact same future? Freedom, success, luxury, purpose. Who define these desires, and who gets paid while you chase them? The system doesn't block your dreams, it engineers them. Understand this and everything changes. Miss it and you'll keep funding it. Once, the world was built on oil, then on gold, then on land. Today it runs on aspiration. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a dream that nobody else had? Not a better life, not freedom, not success. Something truly yours. Because the most powerful systems don't ask what you do, they ask what you want. What you scroll, what you save, what you imagine when no one is watching. Your dreams are data. Oil runs out, gold is finite, land has borders. Dreams regenerate endlessly, every day in billions of minds. And here's the part nobody tells you. You never get paid for producing them. You create desire, someone else refines it, someone else sells it back to you. Motivation, lifestyle, identity, all extracted from your imagination. You don't own your dreams, you supply them, and the system runs perfectly on that. Have you noticed how luxury always looks better on Instagram than in your own life? How a few seconds of scrolling can make everything feel smaller, unfinished. Why does looking at other people's success never leave you calm, only wanting more? Look closely at what you're shown. Private jets, perfect bodies, ocean views, slow mornings. Now ask yourself, how many of those lives are real, and how many are performances designed for you to watch? Instagram luxury isn't real luxury. It's not even a copy, it's a surface built for comparison. Real luxury is quiet. It avoids exposure. It protects distance. What you see online is designed to feel close, but never reachable. That distance is the product. If real luxury were shown as it actually is, it would feel empty and inaccessible. So instead, you're shown something emotional, human, almost achievable. Almost. Inspiration fades quickly because inspiration isn't the goal. Tension is. The system wants you suspended between who you are and who you think you should become. That's the aspiration gap. A psychological space where desire lives, but fulfillment never arrives. The levels you see are intentionally staged, incomplete by design. You're never shown the whole picture, only enough to keep you watching. The elite don't want followers, they want separation. What you consume isn't their world. It's a gateway that keeps you outside while making you feel close. And the frustration you feel isn't a side effect, it's the engine. Hope is profitable only when it's delayed. Have you noticed how everyone online is always becoming something? More disciplined, more optimized, more successful. Yet nobody ever arrives. Courses, masterminds, biohacking routines, productivity systems. Everywhere you look, someone is selling a better version of you. Not who you are, but who you could be someday. Ask yourself this: if these systems work the way they're sold, why does preparation never end? Why is there always another level you're missing? Because they're not selling results. Results would end the transaction. They're selling permission to believe. Hope with structure. A controlled fantasy where effort feels meaningful, even when nothing changes. Social media amplifies it perfectly. Before and after stories, emotional breakthroughs. But notice what's missing: an end state. There is no finish line, just endless becoming. You're trained to believe that if you're not there yet, it's because you haven't prepared enough. And so you pay again, with money, with time, with attention, with self-trust. The product isn't the course. It isn't the mastermind. It's the future version of you that only exists in your head. They don't need you to succeed. That would end the relationship. They need you to keep preparing, because preparation feels responsible. Arrival is disruptive. A person who arrives stops buying. The system loves unfinished people. Always almost ready, almost confident, almost successful. You're paying to stay in that almost. Eventually, paying once wasn't enough. So your future became a subscription. Mindset, health, wealth, identity, monthly access to who you're supposed to become. Almost everything promising change now comes with a renewal date. Not because it has to, but because permanence is dangerous. A finished person doesn't stay enrolled. Ask yourself, how many subscriptions do you have that are meant to make you better? And how many would feel uncomfortable to cancel? Not because they work, but because canceling feels like giving up. Like stepping away from the person you told yourself you were becoming. That pain isn't financial, it's psychological. Canceling doesn't feel like canceling a service. It feels like canceling your future. As long as you stay subscribed, you're on the path. The system doesn't need results, it needs tension. Enough progress to justify staying, never enough to justify leaving. You're not buying transformation, you're renting direction. And as long as you pay, you're allowed to believe something is happening, even when nothing changes. Luxury is not an object. It never was. Not the watch, not the car, not the penthouse. Those are props. Real luxury begins where buying ends. Ask yourself why the most powerful people wear the least recognizable things. Why they avoid noise, exposure, attention. Because luxury isn't about being seen, it's about being unreachable. What you're sold is visibility. What the elite buy is distance. Distance from urgency, from explanation, from reaction. Real luxury is access, time, silence, invisibility. What's sold to the masses as luxury is easy to buy and designed to be shown. That's not power, that's marketing. If it wants attention, it isn't elite. The system lets the crowd look, desire, admire, but never enter. You're allowed to watch luxury. You're even allowed to buy expensive things. But access, time, silence, and invisibility are protected. If you can buy it easily, it's not luxury, it's marketing. Motivation feels powerful, doesn't it? That rush when you hear the right words, watch the right clip, read the right quote, and suddenly feel ready to change everything. Productive, focused, alive. But let me ask you something simple. How long does that feeling actually last? Hours? A day? Maybe 2? Motivation is not fuel, it's a hit. A short-term dopamine spike that makes you feel like movement is happening even when nothing has changed. That's why the system loves it. Because motivation doesn't liberate you, it occupies you. It keeps you busy, busy planning, busy optimizing, busy working on yourself, busy enough to never slow down and ask the dangerous questions. The system is not afraid of angry people. Anger burns fast and burns out. It's predictable. It exhausts itself. What the system fears are calm people with no artificial urgency. People who are not chasing anything. People who don't need constant stimulation to feel okay with themselves. Motivation prevents that state. It keeps your nervous system slightly activated, slightly dissatisfied, slightly hungry for the next push. That's why motivation is everywhere. On your feed, in your headphones, in your inbox. Because a motivated person feels responsible, committed, engaged. A motivated person blames themselves when things don't work, instead of questioning the structure they're inside. If you fail, you didn't want it badly enough. If you're tired, you need more motivation. If you slow down, you're falling behind. See how clean that logic is? Motivation turns systemic pressure into personal responsibility. It transforms control into self-discipline. And that's incredibly efficient. A person who is constantly motivated is never still, never quiet, never dangerous. They don't disrupt systems. They try harder inside them. That's why motivation is treated like medicine. Daily doses, morning routines, evening rituals, quotes, podcasts, challenges. Because the moment the stimulation stops, something uncomfortable happens. Silence. And silence creates space. Space creates clarity. And clarity creates exit routes. That's the real threat. Motivation keeps you busy, not dangerous. You don't need to imagine the future. You're already inside it. Algorithms already know what you want before you can clearly name it. Not because they're intelligent, but because you're predictable. Every pause, every scroll, every hesitation, every late-night search you never talk about. Desire leaves traces, and data turns traces into forecasts. Ask yourself this: how often does something appear on your screen exactly when you're vulnerable enough to want it? A solution, a lifestyle, a promise. That's not coincidence, that's prediction. The next phase of control isn't force, it's guidance. You won't be told what to want. You'll be gently steered toward what fits your psychological profile. Personalized dreams, tailored ambition, aspirations calibrated to your tolerance for frustration. Too much hope breaks people. Too little makes them restless. So the system learns to dose it. Just enough progress to keep you engaged. Just enough delay to keep you dependent. This is where automation becomes dangerous. Not because it takes jobs, but because it manages desire. In the future, frustration won't be accidental. It will be optimized. When motivation drops, stimulation increases. When doubt appears, reassurance follows. When ambition peaks, obstacles are introduced. Not to stop you, to keep you inside the loop. This isn't oppression, it's refinement. You won't feel trapped. You'll feel guided, supported, understood. That's what makes it effective. The system doesn't need to silence you. It needs to keep you emotionally occupied. As long as you believe your path is unique, personal, and chosen, you won't question who designed it. Limited hope becomes a feature. Unlimited hope creates exits. So the future offers just enough possibility to keep you moving, never enough to let you arrive. Desire becomes a navigation tool. Behavior becomes predictable. Freedom becomes simulated. You won't be controlled by force, you'll be guided by desire. At the highest level, dreams disappear. Not because they were achieved, but because they're no longer needed. The elite don't dream big. Dreaming is for people who are still becoming something. At the top, becoming is finished. What matters is position. Position doesn't require imagination. It requires insulation. The elite don't want more. Wanting creates movement. Movement creates exposure. Exposure creates risk. The system feeds the masses with dreams to keep them moving. The elite exit by owning positions where movement is no longer required. The real luxury isn't achieving your dream. It's not needing one. If this video made you think, if it showed you a world you always felt was real but no one ever dared to explain, then you're exactly where you need to be. Fake-off luxury isn't about admiration, it's about revelation. We uncover the systems the elite will never discuss and reveal what luxury really means behind the curtain. If you're ready to see more, subscribe, give it a like, turn on notifications, and stay with us. Because in this world, those who know the rules play a completely different game.